Night Dreams Talk Radio Network brings you the World Paranormal News with James Creechbaum. Now, the latest news.
This is Night Dreams Talk Radio Network News. I'm James Creechbaum, and for all the truckers out there, another train of snowstorms is returning to the northwest U.S. Today's storm, which really got cranky this afternoon, could dump up to 12 inches of snow or more in Stevens Pass, Mount St. Helens, the northern Oregon Cascades, and some high elevations of southern British Columbia through tomorrow. The Cascades crest will potentially receive the most snowfall of up to 18 inches. Most lower elevations will see up to 8 inches or less. Wind gusts up to 45 miles per hour will cause blowing snow and reduced visibility in some areas, and snow squall may pass on I-90 in Washington may become another trouble spot for truckers. Lower elevations, valleys and lowlands of Washington and Oregon could get soaked with up to 3 inches of heavy rainfall through tomorrow. As some rivers and small streams rise, the result may be localized flooding, mudslides, and landslides. This includes portions of the I-5 and the US 101 corridors. Look for on and off snow showers today through Wednesday across the Rockies of northern New Mexico and western Colorado, as well as the Wasatch Range in Utah and the mountains of Wyoming. Some of the heaviest snowfall will hit the Tetons, Sierra Madre, the snowy ranges in Wyoming, with up to 12 inches possible in some spots. Drivers may run into delays on I-80. Other parts of Wyoming and northern Colorado, north of I-70, will see lesser amounts. However, gusty winds in these areas will result in blowing snow and occasional whiteout conditions. Nevada woman sentenced for killing she blamed on spirits. A Nevada woman who said she shot a gun at spirits who attacked her roommate was sentenced to prison for the man's fatal shooting. The witness, or the lady, told emergency dispatchers she believed spirits had killed her roommate. That's what the police report said. Now, the lady told police spirits appeared in the room with her roommate, including one that came out of his body. She compared the experience to being a virtual reality video game. Seth Bullock, haunter of the Deadwood Hotel. Now, Seth appears to be a sole haunter in the Bullock Hotel that he and his partner built. This hostelry has various paranormal activities. Some witnesses have seen a shadowy form in the number 10 saloon, while others claim to see his specter in the doorway. Bullock, a former Montana sheriff, was appointed Deadwood sheriff shortly after Hickok's death. According to the staff and guests, Bullock haunts his hotel. There have been reports of feeling a strong paranormal presence inside several of the second and third floor rooms and hallways, in Bully's restaurant and Seth's cellar. Some have cited Bullock's ghost in various parts of the hotel. His apparition reportedly helped a lost child in a hotel room return to his room. Fish farm plans rejected after ferries warning. A Scottish council recently received a letter warning that the lives of workers could be endangered by ferries. The letter also warned that anyone working on the proposed fish farm would be at risk of being lured to their doom by promises of gold and jewels from the region's supernatural residents. There was also mention of water spirits known as the Blue Men of the Minch. After the 6-hour consultation, plans for the fish farm were ultimately rejected. Exactly how much the threat of ferries contributed to the decision, however, remains unclear. Next news break, top of the hour.
You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark with our host, Gary Anderson.
And that is me. Well, a big shout out to all the truckers out there that listen to the show. Without you, we would not be where we're at. So again, a big shout out to you guys, because you guys really make the show what it is. And also Tom from Metatron Power and Light and one of the other band members are hitting up and down I-5 to all the truck stops they can get to. And they're giving out their albums to the truckers for free. They're going to give out 100 albums. They're also going to give a card telling people, well, hey, they should, well, to the truckers, I should say, be listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio. We have tried something in the past. Well, I didn't like how the show was going. We made some more changes here. As of now, we are geared up, well, to be one of the best paranormal talk shows you'll find, both on radio and the internet. We're also now kind of geared up to the trucker. We're going to carry things like trucker news, weather reports, and things like that. Also, because, you know, a lot of our listeners are out in the trucks, you know, making those long hauls. And without you guys, we wouldn't be where we're at. How you doing tonight, James, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good, Mr. Gary. Just how are you doing?
I am doing really well. Well, I did slice my thumb open, and I finally got the bleeding stopped. Super glue didn't even work. Well, anyway, firefighters free a woman's finger from the sink overflow drain. Her finger was stuck in the drain for almost 24 hours before the paramedics came to, well, rescue her.
24 hours? Boy, they took their sweet time to get there. Maybe she couldn't reach the phone, but boy, oh boy, that's a long time to have your finger in a tough spot.
And a lady already was a lottery millionaire. Well, guess what? In North Carolina, well, they just got another $1 million winner. The same person.
Oh, my. I am telling you, every week somebody is sitting on these horseshoes. They're really pulling off some luck. I'd never seen nothing like it. Too bad I couldn't win some of those.
Well, kind of interesting in the news, too. Firefighters run a hose through a vehicle's windows that was parked next to the fire hydrant. Rather than running the water hose around her vehicle, her windows were down, so they just ran the hose right through one window and out the other.
Oh, my goodness. That reminds me of something up from Benny Hill or Monty Python. That is just bizarre. That's funny.
Laurel and Hardy or the Three Stooges or something.
I know. Yeah, that sounds like more like a Chinese fire drill or something. My goodness.
Well, the big giant oil company, name is Pilot Flying J, just announced here the other day that they're changing their name to just plain Pilot. Now, you might not recognize that, but if you're a trucker, there's a lot of big, truck stops called, Flying J. Well, now they're going to all be called Pilot.
I read something about that. There's a bunch of them around here where I live, too, and I just went past a couple of them, 2 or 3 of them today, and they still had the Flying J on it, but they haven't changed them yet. But I read that. I wonder what their plan is in that. But anyway, they're very popular around here.
Well, federal authorities say an Indiana man was sentenced to more than 4 years in prison for fraud. Well, he had a scheme. He was actually trying to take a trucking company away from its owners. Well, now he has 4 years to think about what he tried to do.
He's lucky he only got 4 years. Jeez. I'll tell you, the nerve of some people, it amazes me.
Well, it does. Last week, a trucker disappeared in California by Shasta Mountains. And they were looking for him, and they couldn't find him. What he did is he took a shortcut, a back road through the mountains, but a storm came in, dumped a lot of snow, and he was stuck. Thank God, the rescuers came and, saved him.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, we had an accident here in my area on State Route 151 out by Jewett. A lady or somebody pulled out in front of a truck full of hauling sand today, and he swerved to miss her and hit the guardrail and rolled over, and unfortunately he passed away. That was a terrible accident for a trucker this morning here in my area. Well,
could you imagine this poor Texas man? He had a headache. It wouldn't go away. He went to the doctors, and the doctors has said, here, try this. And he tried all these different medications. His headaches just kept getting worse and worse. This was going on for a decade. So they finally, you know what they did, James? They did an MRI on him. And guess what they found?
Oh boy, a tumor? I don't know.
No, they found a giant tapeworm in his brain.
Oh man, we've come across there's a couple other parasites that eat your brain, but yeah, a tapeworm in your brain, they're not even known to be in your brain, I don't think. But man, I feel bad for that guy. That's awful. Because the thing is, whatever they eat, you'll never get that back.
No, and could you imagine a tapeworm in his brain for 10 years? How much?
Oh.
I mean, can you figure how much damage it was done to his brain?
My goodness, that poor guy. It's a wonder he didn't lose all memory and everything, or even his functions of, moving your arm or something.
No, he was just lucky. He just had a migraine for 10 years. Well, guess what? I don't know how they remove the tapeworm, or they just give medicine that kills the tapeworm. I don't know what the procedure is to remove the tapeworm. But it tells you got to eat your meat right. You got to wash your hands. And if you're eating pork, I would recommend overcook it. Then eat it even what they say at the right temperature. I've told my wife now, if you're going to fix pork chops, I want mine extra done. After what you said, James, I don't want to take a chance.
Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you something else. Fish, raw fish is the main way that people get tapeworms, believe it or not. I've been a fisherman all my life. I've seen them. And especially if there's dirty water around cow fields and any kind of livestock, that's where they get it from. The livestock gets in the water, these tapeworms, and you got to be careful. I've never will eat sushi. No, sir.
Well, you know what? The main cause of death in Asia is from eating raw fish, eating clams and oysters raw. But this eating fish raw itself, alive, matter of fact, the big fad is right now in Asia, including in China, eating live fish. Could you imagine you got this fish, and that poor fish, you're sitting there and you're just, I don't know. That's very cruel. I know a fish we think don't have any brains, but, to the standpoint of you're not even putting it out of its misery. You just take a big bite out of it.
Yeah. Did you see the video of the little Japanese woman who, these little crabs, like 3 inches by 3 inches, they're living. She's just picking them up, eating the shell and all, just crunching. And she was eating snails with the shells and all, like putting a big old spoon and just crunching them down, and like really enjoying it. And then she grabbed this big old thing. It looked like a sea urchin or something. I don't know what it was. It looked like a big old tube, like a snail or something. It was like a foot long. She was just eating it all live, raw. And I was like, oh my goodness, brave.
Well, I wonder if that's the same one that is a big clam, a razor clam, or whatever it is. It looks like a giant penis. And she taps it, and it squirts water out of the end of it. And then she takes a